Hare Krishna. Dear friends and viewers, I will be talking to you today about Dwaraka, the most sacred city, the holy Dham. Just a little bit of insight into it so you can have a good idea on how to go about it if you wish to take up a pilgrimage and go to the holy city. Dwaraka is the sacred city where Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, spent most of his time during his appearance on earth 5,000 years ago. He performed wonderful pastimes there, including expanding into 16,108 forms and creating 16,108 palaces for his 16,108 queens. In Vrindavan, Lord Krishna lived as a simple cowherd boy, but in Dwaraka, he lived as a wealthy prince. While speaking to you about Dwaraka, I will be covering several subtopics such as Dwaraka, Lord Krishna's royal home, main temples, which is that of Dwarkadish, other noteworthy temples, why Lord Krishna built the city of Dwaraka, Dwaraka 50 centuries ago, ISKCON Dwaraka, and colorful Gujarati pilgrims. So the first topic we'll take up is Dwaraka, Lord Krishna's royal home. What is the meaning of Dwaraka? Dwaraka means gateway to the Supreme, or the city of gates. Srila Prabhupada states, the heavenly planets are more celebrated than the earth, but the celebrity of earth has defeated that of the heavenly planets because of Dwaraka, where Lord Sri Krishna reigned as a king. Three places, namely Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwaraka, are more important than the famous planets within the universe. These places are perpetually sanctified because whenever the Lord descends on earth, he displays his transcendental activities, particularly in these three places. They are perpetually the holy lands of the Lord, and the inhabitants still take advantage of the holy places, even though the Lord is now out of their sight. Pilgrims usually visit holy places. So what should their mood be while going on a pilgrimage to the holy Dham Dwaraka? Understand this, not a blade of grass can move without the supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And really, it is his mercy that one can approach a holy place of pilgrimage. While in a holy place, there are always some tapasya or some purification. It is like in previous ages, there were no automobiles, buses, or trains. People would have to walk barefoot for long, arduous miles to places like Badrinath or Kedarnath, or to places like Dwarka Dham. Sometimes it would take weeks or months of walking and begging for whatever food is available, probably on the roadside itself. Or say sometimes there's nothing, and we would have to just fast continuously. This is the traditional old process throughout the ages of going to holy places. But now we have so many modern conveniences, which are really Krishna's mercy to people who are so actively immersed in the responsibility of this world. But by the Lord's grace, he arranges some small token of tapasya just to put us in a proper spirit, in the proper consciousness to enter the holy abode. So one should be grateful to Krishna, and we should know that when these difficulties arise on our journey, it means somehow or the other we have attracted the special attention of Lord Sri Krishna, who is giving us his special mercy. During this yatra, we should know that it is a sublime opportunity to make spiritual advancement. No one should speak anything but Krishna Katha. We should be constantly chanting the holy names or discuss the glories of the Lord. And beyond that, we should speak only and only if it is absolutely necessary for our survival. There should be no mundane talks and absolutely no gossip at all. We should discuss nothing about our life back in the material world. Keep the mind completely engrossed during these few days only in the remembrance of Krishna. And we must help one another on the yatra. The next important thing is we must go in the mood of the servant of the servant. We should go out of the way in whatever way possible to help each other so that they may gain the greatest benefit from this pilgrimage. Whatever austerity that may be there, we should not complain. We should not criticize. We should simply take them as purification and chant the holy name and glorify Krishna. Krishna says that one, when put in a suffering condition, when he folds his hand and says, "Thank you, my Lord," that person alone is fit for liberation. Krishna married 16,108 queens. So how did he interact with them? How did he stay with them and all of them together? Now these questions always arise in the minds of sincere seekers, and their answer can instill great deal of faith for those visiting Dwaraka. When Krishna was here, he was performing different activities with each and every one of his queens intimately. None of them ever felt lonely for even 1 second. And when Krishna would rise early in the morning to perform his sadhana as a perfect grihastha, he would rise even before the rooster crowed in the morning, and he would perform meditation, perform puja, giving charity, and later on in the day he would leave each of his 16,108 palaces to go to perform his duties as Dwarkadish, the king of Dwarka. And in assisting King Ugrasena, he would go to the Sudharma assembly house. The Srimad Bhagavatam explains how he would leave in 16,108 forms, but just before entering into the Sudharma assembly house, all the forms would merge into one form. And then he would rule the state of Dwarka. And when it was time to return home and meet his queens, he would expand once again into 16,108 forms and enjoy loving relationships with them. One may ask, how is it possible that Krishna could live in 16,108 palaces simultaneously? The answer is because Krishna is the absolute truth. He is the embodiment of Adhyatmic Shakti, inconceivable potencies. He can do everything and anything. And when Krishna comes to this earth, he wants to show his supremacy. If he came like an ordinary person, who would chant his glories? Therefore, he reveals his wonderful, inconceivable, super excellent activities simply to attract all our minds. The original city of Dwarka, described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Mahabharata, and other Vedic scriptures, was a fort city built within the sea. Today, a small island, Bet Dwarka, remains and reminds us of this glorious history. Pilgrims can visit this place too. The present city Dwarka, as per the map, is on the shore. It has a resident population of approximately 30,000 and a tourist population that fluctuates depending on the seasons. Even though it's remote on the west coast and a long way from any major cities, many pilgrims make the endeavor to go there. Dwarka is one of the most important places for Hindus to visit because it is one of the 4 prominent holy places in the cardinal directions of India, Dwarka being in the west, Puri in the east, Rameshwaram down south, and Badrinath up north. The atmosphere in Dwaraka is peaceful, and the people are pious and don't seem harassed by many problems. They happily go to the temple to see the Lord. When we arrived in Dwarka at 6:30 in the morning, and although it was still dark, quite a few people were walking towards the main temple, that of Dwarkadish, the Lord of Dwarka, a four-armed deity of Krishna. By the blessings of Lord Krishna, the opulence of Dwarka still survives. Although we don't see fabulously rich people there, the ordinary people live a comfortable life. And lastly, a little bit about the weather there. Dwarka is a pleasant town on the coast with a nice strip of beach. The sea is calm there. The climate is moderate, not too hot, and neither is it too cold in winter. I hope I was able to provide good enough information regarding Dwarka, and I hope you're motivated enough to take up the pilgrimage to go to Dwaraka Ram. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.